What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks back with another Moderna update video, ticker symbol MRNA. We'll take a look at how Moderna stock traded today, some news that came out yesterday that I shared with you guys, as well as more news today. And we'll take a look at what the future of the stock could look like. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Moderna are. And I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let me hit record. We will get right into it. So great green day for Moderna. Days like this are what we wait for. I know a lot of you guys that I talk to down in the comment section are in Moderna at a higher price. So seeing some green days is definitely something that we like to see. And we'll take a look at a little bit of how it traded today. But before we do that, let's take a look at some news. Let's take a look at one piece of news that could be kind of bad for the stock. Not necessarily, super negative, but this news of AstraZeneca Oxford's COVID-19 shot could be authorized January 29th. And then it talks about that. So bad news in the sense that Moderna could have had more of an opportunity to sell more doses to some of these EU countries. But now that there's another vaccine, maybe Moderna doesn't get that. But, that's not to say all hope is lost. And since we're talking about Moderna, let's take a look at some positive news that came out today. So they win Swiss drugs approval. So they, as well as, kind of like in the US with the Pfizer and Moderna, this is looking like that too, where Pfizer was approved and Moderna's is also approved there now. It's the second shot to get approved. And they are getting up to 1.5 million doses from the firms through February. So that's obviously Pfizer and Moderna combined. Again, the advantage that Moderna has is the temperatures that you need to store it at are a lot more normal than Pfizer's vaccine. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, so that's something to, keep in mind. And then 7.5 million, I believe, is the total number. And this article also talks about the $11.7 billion in revenue that Moderna can have this year. The next piece of news that I want to focus on is this news here, which isn't necessarily having to do with the stock price itself, but it's vaccinations and we're talking about COVID. So it's a little bit more than just what our stock price is going to do, right? And I thought this was pretty cool, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. But Uber and Moderna have partnered on COVID-19 vaccine access and information. And if you want to read more on this, it's on Yahoo Finance, but it essentially talks about, building a either immunization appointment process or being able to take people there and having that within the app, and the two companies partnering together. So if that does happen, I think that would be super cool. Not necessarily for, the stock itself per se, but I do think that it would be super cool just as something that these two companies are doing. And then the last thing, I covered this yesterday, but they talked about a vaccine pipeline expansion plan. These are the kind of candidates for these, right? Two of them were HIV and the Nipah virus one, and then one being a seasonal flu vaccine. So that just goes to show you, what this company Moderna can do past COVID, since that's what a lot of investors are asking, right? Hey, sure, you're gonna have $11 billion of revenue this year, but what happens next year when hopefully Corona isn't as serious as it was this year, right? And Moderna has already said that their immunity is supposed to last at least a year, right? Obviously, we don't know for sure, because there hasn't been a year, and obviously we don't know if it'll be a lot more than a year. So there's a lot of kind of questions, but the fact that they're developing something, even though a lot of this is still phase one, kind of goes to show what the company has planned for the future. So let me go back to Moderna now, and we will take a look and let's see, right? So look at this, guys. Remember yesterday when we were kind of hitting up against this line and we were a little bit below and we moved this line down? Well, we continue to move up, which is great news. This is a line that I think I started drawing here on the fourth day, and I talked about, hey, it's really important for us to find good support at this line and continue to move up. That is something that, that is something that I'm looking for the stock to keep doing, finding support from this line and starting to push up. And that is something that, has happened over the past week, and I'm hoping will continue to happen. Additionally, what we're looking at is the EMAs, and today was a perfect example. Let me get rid of the drawings here so we can see a little bit better for a second here. But you guys remember, if you saw yesterday's video, if you didn't, feel free to watch it. But we were above the 8 EMA yesterday, right? So we closed here at 117.26. The 8 exponential moving average number, which will be right there, was 115.41. So I talked about the importance of being able to use the 8 EMA as a level of support, right? And that's exactly what we got today. So if you take a look at the low of today and the 8 EMA, excuse me, I'm trying to talk too fast because I'm excited. But the low for today was 117.12 and the 8 EMA was 117.44. So it was about 30-cent difference between the low point we found in the 8 EMA. So we found really good support in the 8 EMA. And not only that, we are now above the 21 EMA as well. We are all the way up at $124. So good $7.29 gain on the day, 6.22%. Compared to, all three major indexes where the NASDAQ was only up 0.28, Dow was up 0.18, and S&P was up 0.02. Great move for Moderna. But, the fact that we were above all these is also great news. Now, another thing that I want to share is kind of moving forward. We do have the 8 EMA as a good line of support as we established today, which is at 117. We've also got this 55 EMA, which if you go back here, 1, 2, 3 days where we bounced off of this 55 EMA, right? So the 55 EMA is all the way down there at 112. That should hold up as good level of support. If we go here at the 8 EMA, as we validated today, 117.44, that should hopefully hold up as good support. And then the other thing I really like is we're above the 21 and 34. So that should also hold up as really good support. So what am I watching from that EMA perspective? Well, the first thing I'm watching is the 21 EMA at 121.21, the 34 EMA at 119.63. And again, the numbers are right there if you guys are looking to write them down or something. The 8 EMA, which is what we validated today at 117, and then 112.91 with the 55, right? So we've got support at 121, then 119, then 117, then 112. None of those have to hold, right? That's something to keep in mind. If it's going down to 119, don't just buy more because you think that level is going to hold. Always make sure that you validate the support before you go in. Now, another thing that I will say is, let me get rid of these EMAs for just a second, is we have gone up a decent amount today, right? We had a 6% day. So we could see a continuation tomorrow. We could see a little bit of a pullback. We could see a little bit of a sideways day, right? If we see a little bit of a pullback and we get a red candle like we did here, nothing to worry about. As long as we keep moving up, we make a higher low day after day. We make hopefully a higher high day after day. Nothing to worry about. But what I'd like to see from the stock next is, 130. My goal for the stock is 145. I'm hoping for that to happen either Q1 2021 or Q2 2021. At that point, I will kind of reconsider what I want to do with the stock because depending on how it acts at that 145 level, right? So that's what I'm looking at moving into the future. Hopefully we see 130s soon. If we do have a red day or a little bit of a pullback, as long as we can stay above this line, which if we make a low of 116 or higher, I'm okay with that. So hope you guys found this video helpful. I know this is an exciting day for Moderna stockholders, up 6% on the day. So hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of that as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day. And until next time.